talking about England, because England are so highly fancied to go and win the
and
Euros
we're sitting
in the summer.
London.
And we're sitting in London, Mr. Souness, and you played almost your entire career
English football has
in
been
English
great
football. So there we go. That's why we're talking about England. That's why we're talking about where are England now, weeks away from Germany. Where are they now? Are they really toothless but solid? Where are they now? Are you more or less convinced about England's chances going into the Euros? There's Paul in Mersey Island. Where is Mersey Island? I don't know. Mersey Island, I do beg your... Essex, I'm told. England have the best talent I think I've seen for many years, but it's up to us to change it a bit. Southgate needs to start the guys who are fit come the time. Kane, Grealish, Saka. All these guys can win us games. Rice, Foden in midfield. That'll win us the Euros. James, big Liverpool fan. You're talking to your former captain of Liverpool, your former manager Graeme Souness in studio with us, James. What do you think about where England are this Monday morning? Good morning.
Good morning. Well, to be honest with you, I agree with Graham's point. I think Southgate's just got to let the players play. Because if you look at the best players in the forward line, you've got, say, Harry Kane, Saka, Phil Foden, and then you've got Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice. Not to mention a few others. You can even mention James Maddison. Look at all what their club teams are doing. All their club teams are pressing, playing high intensity football from the front, and we're going into games with England. And as he's saying, we're waiting for half an hour to see what the other team are doing. I just don't understand why he doesn't take the shackles off and just let them go and play. Because obviously you can see why the game's a lopsided, because he's not letting them do what they're doing for the clubs. And it's only going to go one way. You know what I mean?
And what is that way, James?
We're just gonna look at the France game. You're gonna struggle in games. You're not proactive. So obviously, when a team go and score a goal, and you ask them to react, and it's not the way these players are playing for the club.
So James, when it comes to beating the teams you're expected to beat, you beat them. When it comes to beating teams who are up there, who might be rivals to England, do you still have your doubts?
Definitely, yeah. Because Graham said before that there's not too many good teams. You can't really think of them. But mate, I think a lot of people are forgetting. Have you seen Portugal squad? Have you seen the players Portugal? We've got Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, Diogo Jota, João Felix, not to mention Cristiano Ronaldo, the Germans, Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala.
You've got a list beside you there, James, haven't you? You must have. Brilliant call, James. Really appreciate it. Ben's another big England fan. Before we come to Graeme and Simon, Ben, what's your take on it?
Exactly. My point is exactly what the gents just said there before. We've got all the attacking players available to us. We end up playing with two defensive midfielders. There's only one fit for purpose. Declan Rice is the only good holding midfielder England have. Jordan Henderson's playing in a pub league. Calvin Phillips is nowhere near hit the heights everyone thought he was. And Trent is a right back converted to a holding midfielder, but he's no good defensively. He's a great passer of the ball.
Ben, where do you stand on this? Martin Samuel in the Times this morning. Kobe Manu has got to start against Belgium. Manu replaced Gallagher after 75 minutes. He says England must find a reliable partner to Rice before June. Manu fits that bill.
Great player. But again, have we seen enough of him? I think we should only play one holding midfielder. So, like the gent said before, you've got the likes of Grealish, Maddison, Saka, Bellingham.
Yeah.
Let them play. Let them play.
Okay, Ben. Mark, you're a Leeds fan, and I'm going to squeeze you in before Graeme and Simon. What do you want to say, Mark? Good morning.
Yeah, it's just really to echo what the other callers have said. I just don't understand his insistence on playing two holding midfielders. We've got some of the best attacking players in the world. Let them play. The best form of defence is attack. And if their players are too busy trying to defend our players, they're not going to get further up the field.
What a good call. Mark, thank you for that. We get the drift, don't we?
Yeah, see, England are that good. They are that good. I just think, let them off the lead. They'll have most of the ball. They're 53% of the ball against a team that was good at keeping the ball, Brazil. England are that strong right now. They should fear no one. And Gareth, when I look at a football match, the first thing I focus on is a central midfield player. I'm sure Gareth looks at a football team and looks at centre halves, and I think his teams play with a centre halves mindset. Let's not give nothing away. Let's see where the game goes. When you've got that group, and I come back to it. You touched on it earlier. The second half against France, when they started in not a fearful way, but they started in a negative way, and then the second half the game's gone away from. Okay, now let's go for it. Out-footballed, outrun, outfought, outgunned France in that second half. If it's like, and in a boxing analogy, does a boxer ever start slowly? So I'll give him the advantage of the first few rounds. No. In the last words you hear when the last words
they have a look, don't they? A lot of them
they
have a look.
they have a look if they're not, but they don't take a pounding. You don't go on the back foot and say, "Come on and show us how good you are."
But many people used to praise Mourinho's outlook about.
There's more than one ways to win a game, Jim. And
Make sure you don't lose.
England have been doing that, but I just think he's got that good a group of players, plus the weakness that the big teams in Europe have right now.
Take advantage of it.
Go for it.
Take advantage
English
of it.
should go for it.
I don't personally think you win things in life by hedging. I think somewhere along the line you have to go out and go after something, and there'll be times to do it and times not to do it. I don't worry about this Brazilian game, and I don't worry about the qualifying games. I worry about when it comes to being brave, and we have to change the direction of travel. Not when we're suffering adversity, not when there's a situation where we have to recover from something, when we are trying to take something away from the opposition from the get-go. And I don't know whether it's because there's a lack of domestic management career behind Gareth, that he only manages international football once every 2 or 3 months, or there's a mindset of a centre-half that's predominantly set there with safety first, or there's a fundamental ideological belief that that's the way he wants to play and sod everybody else. But if your opposition is stronger than you, then you regroup and you deal with it a different way. If you're stronger than the opposition, then you land it on them and you let them worry about you, not the other way around. And it feels like the psychological approach from our setup. And I also want to ask Graeme, if we do it now or after the break, the contribution of players. Because how many players go out onto a pitch and follow the instructions word for word of a manager and don't take some responsibility themselves and go, I tell you what, I'm going to be brave.
It's a great point, that, actually, Simon. We'll come to you after the break on that. Graeme, many people coming with you this morning with the discussion you've opened up regards England and how they're going about it at the moment. I don't know what you think of this. The best holding player England has, apart from Declan Rice, is John Stones. He does it for City. Would you not pop him in there? Many people getting in touch on this England situation at the moment with the clock ticking towards Germany. Graeme Souness alongside Simon and myself. England toothless but solid, but toothless but solid at the moment. Are you more or less convinced about England going into the Euros now weeks away? And Simon, you had a point which many people out there picked up on. Would you just like to re-emphasise the point that you hit Graeme Souness with before we went to the 10:30 bulletin?
It was a two-tiered question, really. One is about the setup of the international side, which we suggest is Southgate playing with two holding midfield players. The other more pertinent point was, when do these players take responsibility on the pitch for making decisions themselves? Because it's one thing Gareth setting them up to be defensive-minded and to be protectionism, and then you've got players like Declan Rice that clearly now playing for Arsenal are a little bit more offensive-minded. Why doesn't he replicate that for England? Why doesn't he make a choice on the field to go, no, I'm going to step out. My first look is going to go forward, and I'm going to drive forward rather than sit and hold.
But see, we're talking, you're using the word toothless. I know we're in the business of getting people to listen to us.
Or you said toothless.
That on one night they've been toothless.
Yeah.
It was a friendly game against a very good Brazil team, and I'll say it again. They in the last third they were toothless.
But you've been critical
on Saturday night.
You believe that England are a little bit pedestrian.
I've been critical. I think they can win it. I think they will win it if they go there with all the fit players.
You think they'll win it?
That a 90-minute period, that a 90 minutes against a very good team, and they were toothless in the last third. And that was a little window into the future when they play against a team, the better teams.
Agreed.
I think they have to have a different plan. Be more proactive, because I believe they're that good. They can go and take anyone on in a goal fest. They can outscore people, and that's where my criticism would come. If you're talking about England, this group of England players are very, very good, and I feel they will win the Euros. But on Saturday night, they weren't very good.
Do you think they're proactive against lesser sides?
No, they still start too cautious. The two holding players
against the lesser
sides. What am I
sides?
basing that on, Simon? I tell you what I'm basing it. I played in a team that dominated European football and dominated the domestic scene. And we had one holding midfield player.
Yeah.
And the rest of my midfield colleagues and the strikers are going to win us the game.
But I'm asking you a question. Do you think they're proactive? Were they proactive against your Scots?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but,
so are they proactive against lesser sides?
But they still went with two holding midfield players.
But are they proactive as a unit? Put aside the two holding midfield player thing to one moment, right? And say, are they, as a side, as a unit, are they proactive against the lesser sides?
Yeah, but it could be even more so.
So psychologically, when they play the better sides, which is the thing that I've always accused Southgate of coming up short, every time we've come up against somebody that we possibly might not beat, we don't beat them, right? So it's a psychological approach set up by the coach. The coach goes into these bigger games with bigger oppositions and goes,
some of that psychology could be coming from the players direct. Some of that could be coming from the players direct.
That was my question.
Brazil is a big big name in world football.
Yeah, but they're
But
not
for the
the
push
push
at the
they used to
moment.
be.
No, they're not. But
Yeah.
that can still, these young men will.
But
know
you
the
just
history of
said
Brazilian
people
football.
don't get beat before they go on the pitch.
No, they don't. Brazil.
So-
how many times you play
Make
Brazil?
your mind up then.
No, it's a fact.
So why would you be fearful
People
of them?
playing Brazil, you don't play Brazil every week. There's maybe Brazil, Argentina could do that to any current player in the Premier League. Brazil and Argentina are very special footballing
Have you
countries.
seen Brazil's recent run of
They've
form?
not been good. That was the
Rubbish.
first game in 6, wasn't it, or 4?
Totally. And they've been beaten by
Yeah,
sides
but
that
it's
you would
the
not even
name of
thought would get
Brazil.
anywhere near England.
Conjures
That's
up
why
the
the England
magic
fans
of his-
turned out, and the numbers they turned out on Saturday night, Graeme, thinking they were going to see England beat Brazil. I wonder if we're being a bit
Why am
unkind
I,
to
am I
Southgate.
defending England here?
Well, you're not. No, you're saying potentially they can
You're
do
not.
it. Neil and Waltham Abbey. Gareth only picks players who'll do exactly what he wants. No interpretation, no improvisation, no mavericks, and certainly no cavaliers. He calls it trust. Now, Faye Carruthers had an interesting interview pre the Brazil match. Adrian Durham's drawn it to my attention, and it stands out to me that we should mention this. This was with John Stones. Do you feel that we could see with England, so many players can play in different positions for their clubs? So do we have a versatility we didn't have before? Yes, definitely, said Stones. I think Gareth and Steve Holland very open to new ideas. I know they're watching everyone's games in different systems, and they're always very open to our ideas and every aspect of them. Set pieces, goal kicks, build-up play, defensive third, everything. So in other words,
Players have a say. The players have a say.
they have a say.
That's in modern football. The players do have a say.
And yet, we still look at England as if they've got the handbrake on now and again,
No,
and not going out and playing the way that you and others think they should.
I think it's a bit like the story about our future queen. We're making a mountain out of a molehill. This is a really strong group of players who had a bad 90 minutes on Saturday night, and a team that I think turn up for the Euros as favourites. And we're sitting here making we're going to talk for an hour about
And you're
England.
right to say that, Graham. And here's the thing that everyone will react to. Croatian semi-final in 2018, European Championship final against the Italians, and an opportunity against the
And the
French.
French.
And if we play this,
There's a pattern.
and those moments come again, and we don't pivot and don't do anything different, then we'll come up against the French and we'll get done
That
again.
was that's my
the
my
point.
observation. I think that was a window, a little window into the future. If in the Euros they come up against the better teams who are in form and playing well, that'll be their attitude again. Two holding midfield
we've
players.
learnt- so
Let's
we've
try
learnt
and nick
nothing
the
then.
game.
So we've learnt nothing then.
Yeah, let's try. Let's try and win the game with a set piece, because that was the only way they looked like scoring a goal the other night against Brazil.
So rather than roll through a tournament, because as you say, you've got the best team potentially, you're the favourites going into this tournament, embrace the pressure, get on your front foot. What we'll do is we'll nick it.
I wouldn't have
By
any
someone else
manager-
being not particularly good.
I wouldn't have any manager. It never happened to my time at Liverpool. Say, this team's a really good team we're playing. We'll have to be cautious today. You know, the most that was said to me, and you got to remember, you know, when I played, there wasn't the coverage on television. We were going into big European games, not really knowing who you were
The
playing
opposition,
against. Didn't know their strengths and weaknesses. Joel Fagan would say to me, 10 minutes before the kickoff, "Now, son, you'll have a good look tonight, won't you?" And what he meant by that was, just stay there, just support everything, never go in front of the ball, just see where the game is going before you start to maybe chase it. And that was as much detail as I went into. "Now, son, you'll have a good look tonight." That was all he would
But
say
isn't
to
that
me.
the same thing to some extent what Southgate is saying
But
to his opposition?
I was
to
only
his
holding
players?
midfield player. I come back to England are that good that, in my
They don't need
opinion,
one.
they don't need two holding midfield players.
Yeah. A lot of people reacting to what you're saying, Graham, and I see a lot of questions for you through me that they want me to put to you. Conor Gallagher in an England shirt. Does he start for you in Germany?
No, not when everyone's fit. No,
No.
for me. He's got a bit of stick. He gave the ball away without being under any great pressure the other night. He's a very enthusiastic player, a wonderful athlete. Looks to have a great appetite for the game, and I think we've all had nights like that. The left full back Chilwell, they're judging him.
Yeah.
The commentators are judging him on two flunked shots on the Brazil goal, so he's had a stinker according to them. He didn't. The rest of his game is all right.
Here's another question. Who's the best backup to Kane, Watkins or Tony?
We'll find. Well, I think Tony is there's no comparison. There's no direct comparison. What Harry Kane is a wonderful footballer. He's got a great footballing brain. He's a lovely striker of the ball. He sees a pass and he can deliver on that. And he's got that sixth sense, being in the right place at the right time to get goals, be amongst the goals.
Yeah.
Tony's an up and at you type centre forward. A proper handful. Centre halves would not enjoy playing against him. And I think Tony's in front of Watkins right now.
And a final one, Stephen and Wigan. Morning, guys. Do you agree with me? To win a major tournament, and Germany is major, you need 3 to 4 world-class players. England have 2, Bellingham and Kane.
I would answer that this way. When I was playing for Scotland, we were always accused of, coming up short. We never got out of group stages, and that I agree with.
Stephen.
I agree with Stephen, and because I think to do well on the biggest stage, you need 5 or 6. To win a tournament, you need 5 or 6 top men. And I think in Scotland at best we maybe had 3 or 4 going into any of the World Cups.
What have England got?
England have got. My definition of world class. No, they don't have 4 or 5 world class players right now, but they're very, very good.
And neither
players.
do the opposition, by the way.
No one
That's
does.
right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
They're playing against weaker nations.
Yeah. Listen, has he won you over? Do England win this? If they fire on all cylinders?
Do I think they win it? I think they should win it.
I don't think they should, will they? I mean, have you got your mind now focused on Southgate with the trophy?
I admire, because everyone only wants a debit column, not the credit column. So I'll start with a credit column. I admire Southgate for lots of things, and the manner in which he deals with the media, the manner in which he's got rid and broken down the barriers of the lack of harmony inside the England camp and people wanting to play for their country. I don't admire him for the manner in which he sets a team up to go and win tournaments. So I think if it comes down to a game against an opposition like the French, where they're prepared to do certain things that we're not, I would always pick the French to beat us in those instances, unless the lessons have been learned, and we're still seeing the same conversation.
Okay.
1-0 loss against Brazil in a friendly, who gives a monkeys? But it's the same thing that we've been seeing for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years now.
And
so when you go to a tournament, you've got to be brave sometimes. And where's the bravery?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.